Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So today I have something pretty special for y'all. By the way, I just got done doing a leg workout, so I'm a little drained right now, but I have to deliver. So today I have something pretty special for y'all. On Monday, I hosted one of the best support calls that we've done this month or in the last few months, and I shared a lot of things, personal stuff, and also something that I've been noticing lately with a lot of people who've scaled pretty heavily online. In this case, I shared Taylor Welch's plan to $1 billion, right? So if you don't check out his podcast, he has a podcast called The Good Life, and he shared his plan on how he's going to position his brands, the different agencies that he owns, and scale them. And yeah, I did share his plan during this call. The beautiful thing is when you're in our program is that my goal is not to necessarily just share with you like how to scale agencies or how to scale consulting businesses. I will literally share with you whatever I'm learning, whether you're making $3,000 a month or making 300 grand a month, right? My goal is to help you know the steps that you're going to have to go through before you have to even need to go through them, right? Because if I was making the decisions that I'm making today, like if I had the information that I have today when I was starting out, making 10, 20K a month, I would have easily have made the kind of money I'm making today last year and been not needing to make these videos today to try to make up time, right? But so my goal is I'm trying to save people time, right? Just because you're a beginner or just because you're not making 6 figures profit a month does not mean that you don't need to be as smart as someone who's making $10 million a month, right? The beautiful thing is that intelligence or knowledge and concepts, you don't need to be making a certain amount of money to know how to make that kind of money, right? So in today's video, I'll be sharing that. So hopefully you guys will get to enjoy that. But before this video starts, I want to remind you guys, please, Saturday, I have the last webinar for this year. It's my $500,000 a year gift to you guys, right? I'm going to be sharing this new thesis that I've, made up, right? On how to scale companies in 2023, because there's been a shift, there's been an important shift in this online game, and I think I have a good plan and I think I have a good understanding, and I'm going to be sharing everything on Saturday. I'm going to be sharing with you guys what has worked for our clients this year, literally everything from content offers, from TikTok UGC offers, from SaaS offers, appointment setting offers, right? Every single thing, right? As well as the new offers that I believe are going to be really killing it in 2023. I'm also going to be sharing the client acquisition process that we're going to be pushing really hard, how to actually go viral and build an audiences by going viral online, how to push content on YouTube and actually become a YouTuber. You guys will see guys like, who is it? Hormozy, who is a guy who was pretty good with advertising before. But why would someone transition from being able to spend $1 to make $36 in return, and instead of keep printing money, literally decide to go and build a personal brand, decide to become an influencer, right? I'm going to be sharing with you guys how you guys can also leverage that and scale your own businesses. And literally this whole week I'm only preparing for that webinar. I'm not getting on calls with anyone. I'm not even getting back to customers as fast as I should be getting back to them. I'm not meeting with my clients or my team, I guess, all because I'm preparing for this Saturday training. Please, you owe it to yourself to be there. Find the link below, and if you want to be making $500,000 a year net every single year or more, you owe it to yourself to be in that training. But again, enjoy this training, and like every Wednesday training, please remember to like, subscribe, comment. The most important thing that you're going to find from this video training, and I'm going to be picking the $500 winner. Actually, I need to pick a winner for this video. I forgot to pick a winner from last video. I'm not actually going to just throw in the winner here. If this is you, please send me a message on Instagram and let's get you paid, right? Yeah, it's $500. Why wouldn't you want $500 for just a simple comment, right? Thank you guys so much, and I promise you guys Saturday is gonna be amazing. I love you.
So they jump from one story to another,
Yeah. it's like they're always trying to make, because I think that what happens when you start, because to really win in business, you have to have a lot of reference points, right? So it's like when you're trying to say something else comes back to your mind that can explain the thing better. So you're always jumping around, right? So it's like you're trying to say this, then you end up realizing that, oh, saying it this way is actually better. So you're never really sticking to one thing. But yeah, no, it was a great interview. I liked it. It's been a minute since someone has actually shared some good stuff. But Tai Lopez back in the day, I was at a mastermind where apparently he was making over $10 million a month when he was when he was with that, hey, here in my garage YouTube ad. 10 mil. That's $2.5 million a week.
More than the OnlyFans owner. No? Well, not actually.
I don't know what the OnlyFans. Yeah, it's insane. But it got me thinking though, like last night when I went to bed, I was like, the OnlyFans owner is being paid $1 million, is paying himself in dividends, right? Net $1 million a day. I was like, fuck. Because you have to think differently from the play, right? Because right now we're building cash flowing machines, right? But I think that the real wealth comes from owning the game that makes other people rich. Like you cannot, if you want to get rich, it's a complete different mindset from being wealthy, right? So last night I was just trying to figure out, like, okay, cool, but what if I wanted to really touch insane amount of revenue, I need to own a system that makes people on my platform, because I think you have to build a platform to make that kind of revenue. I don't think you make it by just being a great marketer. It doesn't work like that, right? So you need to own the system, the platform that makes others rich, right? So the reason why Facebook once became $1 trillion company is because, how many people are getting rich off of Facebook? A lot, right? If you look at TikTok, same thing. If you look at Apple, same thing. It's like you have to give the platform for people to be wealthy, rich, and you'll be even wealthier, right? That OnlyFans, I know girls making millions of dollars every year. So of course he's gonna be paying himself millions. You know what I mean?
I don't believe though it's necessarily a platform. It can be just a vehicle, right?
Yeah, it could be a vehicle, but the thing is, you need ownership, you need long-term, you need recurring revenue. He wouldn't be paying himself $1 million every day if he was selling a course on how to become an OnlyFans model, because that will run out, because you will sell out everyone, right? So you kind of like need, and it got me thinking to like, okay, so do I need to build a software? Do I need to build that? But there's levels, you know what I mean? It takes time to.
Definitely.
Yeah, cool. I believe we have new people on this call, new members of the program. If you guys, I'd love to give you guys a little second for you guys to introduce yourself, because I also think we haven't met. Who want to go first?
I can go first. Can you guys hear me? Oh.
Go on, man.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, I'm excited for this program. I just had my call with Reg today. I do a lot of organic myself, but I've never really done the cold outreach side of things. It more has been inbound. So I'm an organic consultant myself. I teach literally everything I apply for my own business to all the people that join my program.
Yeah.
But I feel there's just so much room to scale with outbound, and I never really invested or went down this path. And when I saw Serge just blowing up, and it's funny, my setter actually tried to close you, and then I started looking more into your profile. I'm like, hey, this guy's actually really good. Yeah. And yeah, man, long story short, I'm here, so I'm excited, and thank you for making this happen, man.
Yeah, love it, man. Yeah, I I always check out, when people are joining the program, right? Right now, it's like it's becoming so big that like I can't genuinely keep up with everyone who's joining. But quick question: you're not necessarily yet on YouTube heavily, are you?
Not at all.
If there is if I could give you one thing that would be worth your money you pay to be here, get on YouTube.
All right.
Like you wake up, you brush your teeth, think about YouTube.
Awesome.
Because
Yeah, I definitely want to start doing that. Yeah.
because the organic reach, because I also, I think most of my first success was from Facebook organic, right? I'll be part of groups, would leverage outbound, could bring them into my network. But it's like YouTube does something that not any other platform does, which is anyone who has a desire to access information that you teach or access solutions that you share will access it without needing to be your friend. So that means that the actual barrier, there's only two platforms like these. I think LinkedIn is maybe, I don't like LinkedIn though, but I would say Twitter and YouTube are probably one of the most important platforms that anyone can build a brand on. Because
Nice.
you don't need someone to be following you or be a friend with you to access your input. So what that does is that it decentralizes your reach, right? Or it just makes your reach so much better, right? So for me lately, like, yeah, I know you're pushing your program. So if I was you, I would do YouTube, a few videos a week, and I would also probably get on Twitter too. I think Twitter is an amazing platform.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna get started with that for sure.
Welcome, man. Yeah, welcome. Who's next? Emmanuel, you want to go ahead?
Hey man, yeah. So joined the program over the weekend. So I think it was Saturday or Friday. And yeah, just been diving in. It's been really, really good so far. The content's been amazing, man. Similar story, to be fair. I think you guys reached out to me back in August, and then I kind of kept seeing you around, really. Like it would just be like one tweet would pop up somewhere, and then maybe one LinkedIn, then one YouTube video. Like it was just small things are popping up, and then I kind of gave it a chance to watch one of your videos. I was like, okay, this literally is the problem I'm currently facing at the moment. So it was a pretty no-brainer for me. So yeah, man, I appreciate what you're doing, and really excited to get going, man. Yeah.
Welcome. Who want to go next?
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tanner?
Hey, so a little backstory about me. So I joined the program on about Friday, and I had or still do have, a coaching consulting agency for fitness. And I just thought, how can I leverage higher paying clients? And part of me thought, if I'm not living that 1% lifestyle, then it's going to be hard to leverage that into my coaching.
Yeah.
And I figured, what happens if, I got the physique, I got the 1% lifestyle, then I can't only not consult just fitness, but I can go into mindset and everything else, etc. So what did I do? I went to YouTube and, like everyone else, searched SMMA, and just scrolling, got in a frenzy, and this one reel popped up. It said, "Don't start SMMA," and then at the end of it, it said SFC. So, oh, that's kind of interesting. So then on YouTube, I searched SFC, and your channel popped up, and ever since then, here we are, baby.
Let's go. Do some YouTube, man. YouTube, oh my God. Sometimes if whoever bought YouTube, Google, they needed money from me, I'd be like, please take my money. Just do whatever with it. Because I mean, I can say that anyone who's seen the most success in this program has come from, okay, cool, outbound, you dial that in, but they get as fast as they can to content consistently. Because I think Justin came in 30K, 32K a month, next in less than 30, 60 days, 75K a month, right? But because when people buy from you, right? Because there's just do you know how many people are competing with me when it comes to VA placement, scaling programs? There's so many people. So how does someone choose who they want to do business with? Well, it's genuinely because of content. Whoever has the most amount of assets online giving back, when it comes time for a prospect to choose someone, they're not going to choose the person with the best price. They're going to choose the person that they want. Because one thing I've realized is that when you have money, you buy things you want. You don't buy cheap shit, right? If I go and buy a car, I'm not gonna be like, okay, where's the payment plan? What's this? No, I'll be like, what is the card that makes me the most excited? I want that. So what you guys need to reproduce is you guys need to reproduce that same feeling where people want to do business with you because they generally want to do business with you. Whether you get them the result or not, they will still buy from you a million times over. How many people do you think buy from Iman? When generally Iman, like all he does is just recreate the same course every month or every year, sells it, makes millions. I promise you that, guys, next year he's going to do the same thing. If Hormozi started doing the same thing, people would buy it regardless if it's actually valuable or not, because people are buying relationships, right? They're literally buying into being part of your world, right? People want to be him, people want to be close to him, right? So I've realized that, like, you cannot compete with a personal brand. So as much as I can help you guys build a growth team, as much I can help you guys build a better offer, as much as all those things.
No, you know, you guy makes 100 grand a week.
Who? Oops. Jimmy, Jimmy, you're unmuted. But anyway, but like, guys, like all this setters offers, this is like the foundational stuff, right? So, and everyone can hire VAs, everyone can have a good offer, anyone can do organic, anybody can do paid ads, right? So like, what's left? How are you going to compete? How are you going to separate yourself from everybody else? The only way you're going to do it is content, right? But yeah, who else? Marquise, I think it's also your first call here.
No, I've been in a couple calls.
Okay, guys, can we all be on camera? Or
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I forgot, bro. Like, if I would have seen your face, I would have been like, "Hey, man, of course, you're my G." But I just want to make sure that everyone is here. Okay, who else? Who did I forgot to just call out to so they can introduce themselves? Anyway, yeah, okay, cool, perfect. So yesterday I sent an email, right? I think you guys also received my emails. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably see my emails every day. I talked about something, you know, because I like to figure out like why I'm winning. Because if there is one thing that I've realized is that everybody has the answers, but not everybody wins the same or equally, right? And I've realized that the reason why I personally am winning is I just urgently want to win. Like, I'm not passively going about my goals, right? Especially when it comes to money. Because I don't want to, to be honest, I want to get so rich so fast that I just want to stop worrying about money. I'm not trying to make money so that I can just make money, because to be honest, at some point, money has no utility. But when I'm setting goals for this company, I'm setting them as big as I can, and I want them to be achieved next month, next week, if possible, right? Because I've seen, and even if I would look like all the customers who've seen the most success, is the people who have had the most urgency to win, urgency to live the life that you want to live by next month. Because if you really think about it, if you want to be making 10K a month, why can't you be making 10K a month by next week? Tell me one single limitation, one obstacle that's keeping you from not earning 10K a month next week. Same thing for everyone here who's making less than 50 grand a month. Why aren't you making 50 grand a month? Tell me one thing that I know, or that someone in this community knows, who's making over 50K a month, that you don't know. Nothing. It's all a matter of like, how bad do you want it? But most importantly, when do you want it? When I ask, you know, some of you guys, like, hey, when do you want to be making 50K per month? And you tell me like, oh, by end of next year. I'm like, what? You want to spend a year chasing 50 grand a month? Do you know how painful that is? To wait a year to make 50 G's a month? It's painful. It's the most painful thing ever. So what I personally recommend you guys to do is put monthly and quarterly goals. And I want them to be bigger than you've ever fathomed. I don't even want you to know how to get there. I just want you to have those goals as big as possible, because you don't want to spend time chasing money. It's the most toxic thing that a human can do, chasing money. The sooner you stop chasing money, the faster you become wealthy. And the thing is, you can't just avoid chasing money. It's indispensable, like Ty Lopez said, right? You need money. It's not like a choice that you have to make, like, oh, I'm comfortable with 20K. Yeah, you may be, until you're not, right? If you figured out how to make 2 grand, ask yourself, how can I make 20 grand a week? How can I make it in a single day, right? But I just, if just have more urgency, man. Like, why do you have to wait to be wealthy, to be rich? What are you waiting for? Like, do you think that you're going to get another lifetime?
To be honest, man, I used to have a lot of urgency in that sense, but since I started this journey and all of that, like, I figured out like there's much more than we think that you need to go through to get to where you want to be, and I'm okay with it, like, because that's what makes you the person that you need to be be at where you want to be,
Yeah. But I'm not saying that you need to be impatient with results, though. I'm just saying be urgently wanting to achieve your goals, and that gets you to do more frequently. I would want to make $1 million a month, but I'm not going to do it. Even if I know that I need to, even if I know everything that I need to do, I'm not going to do it, because I know that I would probably break the fulfillment. I'll probably break myself. I would exhaust myself. So, but I'm just saying that if you're below 50K per month, there isn't more appointments, more sales calls, figure out fulfillment. I don't even care if you churn all the clients. Just figure out a system where you can hire and get as many calls, as many meetings, as many clients as fast as possible, because you will not actually build a business until you have cash flow. For removing yourself from a company, or at least removing yourself from all the daily hassle, you need people, and to have people, you need to pay them well. So the reason why I say have urgency is because to me today, and Raheem, I'll let you ask your question or make your point, is that today, like, guys, like, I don't work much. That's what I'm trying to say. The company is doing the most and I'm working the least. To be honest, I could even not work and the company will still do. You know why? Because my growth team is getting paid off of a qualified call that they set. They make $100 each set. A 20-year-old set growth specialist made like $7 grand last month, right? Another one made like 9. So they're getting rich off of that. So like their job is like, okay, how can I get as many meetings for the company so I can get rich? And then my closers, same thing. Their goal is like, how can I portray this program as the most valuable thing for you and convince you that this is the best thing for you? And then once they achieve that outcome, they make money, they get rich. And then the fulfillment thing is like, hey guys, we need to fulfill for these clients so we're happy. We can have an amazing time. They can get paid well. They get percentage of profits, right? So it's like, now what do I have to do? Now it's like a system. It's like everyone is becoming wealthy and wealthier as the company grows. It's like it's a flywheel that like never stops. So when I say get big, get rich as fast, I'm just saying like, hey, get to a point where the only people who's getting rich is not just you and your company. How can you hire people whose sole purpose is to get you the thing that you want? And if they get you the thing that you want, they get also what they want, right? So it's like business can be really fun, but when you're still small, when the only person who cares about your success is yourself, whoa, my God, if there is one painful journey, it's business, right? So urgency is just like be urgently wanting to not be in the trenches so much, right? You don't have to stay there. You generally do not, right? But yeah, Raheem.
Yeah, so my question is, how do you keep that drive when you start really hitting higher levels or that push? Like Iman, for example, says many times that like between 10 to 20K is that sweet spot where you really get comfortable, you can enjoy.
Mhm.
And sometimes when I have some really good months or weeks, I find it hard to push
keep
myself
pushing.
even further. Yeah, because you're like, yeah, we made it, quote unquote, even though it's still
Yeah.
nowhere in the spectrum of things. So I'm just wondering, how do you deal with that to
Yeah.
add an extra 100K or whatsoever, even though
Yeah.
that first 100K already is amazing. Yeah.
Because I think you need to, that's why I'm saying, like, get rich fast, because now you start playing the game for fun. Now I'm not playing the game for money. No, I don't think that's why. Because I think that right now I'll be dealing with more bullshit that is not really worth more money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who said, I think it's Ty Lopez yesterday, and I've heard someone else say it, right? But he was like, when he was making $500,000 profit a year, he was living his best life. Right? So I generally think, I think Iman likes to say it, or Iman, he likes to brag about this, but he's like, oh, you have to be mentally sick. Yeah, shut the fuck up. What? Nobody has to be mentally sick. For me, this is how I play this game, right? So I've played this game for like, okay, wow, let me just figure out my life. Like, hey, how can I be able to afford the things that I want to be able to afford a good lifestyle, right? Then I started making money, but the mistake that I didn't do is I didn't start paying myself a lot of money. I think up until I was making maybe 50, 60K profit a month, I was still paying myself. Like, I was taking home after taxes, maybe like $6,000 a month. How the fuck are you going to be not hungry when you're still making $6,000 a month running a multiple six-figure company? I'm still broke, bro. Like, even right now, literally up until, I swear to God, I'm gonna tell you guys this, and this is literally real. Up until last week, I had never had more than 10 grand in my personal bank account. And you know how I even got 10 grand? Is because I paid for we're going to Cape Town next month, right? And Justin is also coming. He's a client, and he paid like 7.5K out of the trip. And I was like, hey man, I don't want you to give it back to my company. Instead, send it to my personal account, because I don't want to pay taxes on it, right? So like it's not, because if I take money from my company, I have to pay a bunch of taxes on it, right? And that was the only reason I have so much money in my bank account. So like when I wake up every day, I'm like, bro, like we need to figure out how to make money for food. You know what I mean? So that's rule number one. Never pay yourself enough, because if you see a lot of money in your bank account, you'll be like, bro, I'm chilling. I'm having fun, right? But if you empty your bank account each month, you're like, whoa, what's going on, right? But the second thing is, I think that you have to level up why you're doing business, right? So as an example, you have to go from thinking about yourself and the cars you want to drive to, hey, what about everyone that I love? What if they never had to work in their life? How much money do I need? Right? And then from there, you will probably achieve it, because something funny about us humans is that we always end up achieving what we want, right? But I think that after that, you generally got to be excited by working. Like for me, when I hear when Ty Lopez said the OnlyFans CEO pays himself $1 million a day, I was like, no. I was like, are you serious? I was like, are you like, I just couldn't fathom it. And I'm like, I'm trying to make $1 million a month. He's making $1 million a day on payroll, not even revenue. Right? So that creates a fire within me that it's like, oh my fucking God. Imagine aiming for that, right? So it's like, I'm like a kid at a candy store when it comes to revenue goals or business. It's like, I just get excited by the fucking target. Cause it's like going at the gym and just wanting bigger biceps. It's like, okay, cool. You start working on them, then the more you win, you're like, oh fuck, I just need to go more, right? But I genuinely think it's a game at this point, because you have to stop playing it from scarcity. It's not like from, oh, I just want to buy more stuff. I think you have to be in love with the game. Now, is it necessarily good to be always wanting more? No. So you generally got to make a choice and like, is it what you want? So I just want it. I don't necessarily play for it because I have to prove something. No, I love to build something great. And that's what I'm excited about. So it's more of like, It's like my own little addiction, you know what I mean? I'm addicted to going big, you know what I mean? It's fucking good. It's good, but it's good for me. It's good for my own soul, for my own confidence, you know what I mean? You just wake up.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, I've been thinking about the fact that I don't know if I heard something. I heard about this. I don't know where. I don't know if it was a YouTube video of you, but someone said to me that you either was you or I don't know who, but you spent like 8 months or something in a basement working until you hit the mark of 30K per month. And I've been thinking about that. And now that you're mentioning the fact that, you know, you still don't have much money in the bank account because you still need that urgency and that kind of like inner fire to keep going for the love of the game. Even if you're making 100K, you know, 7, 12, like whatever it is, right? Is it true that when you're trying to reach such levels of abundance, you need to play it always from a place of scarcity? Like, because what happens when you remove the scarcity and the need for more, and you are surrounded by abundance? Like, is it true that you're not going to be able to build as fast or as great, something as great? Like, I like to think that you can be surrounded by abundance and still have that sense of urgency, or not urgency, but like that drive to still pushing, right?
So I think there's two drivers. There's a driver to lose, or you know, there's a force. I think from 0 to like maybe 8 figures, you're definitely playing not to lose, or you're playing out of a place of scarcity because you just want to have enough, right? But I think that the sustainable energy, because I think like what inspires us is like it's like you need fuel, right? Because once you lose fuel around building a business, you're going to crash. You're going to shut down everything, right? So you always need something that is a fuel that's driving you, right? And I think there is 2 stages. I think you got to start with scarcity. It's like, hey, man, fuck, I'm broke. I need to figure out a way to make a lot of money, right? A lot of money to do what I want, to have what I want, and not have to be needy, right? But I think from the second stage, I think from like once you start making a few millions a year and more, most people actually decide to coast at the level that I'm at, right? People start making like, you know, 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand profit a month. And then they'll literally just decide like, hey, this is the good level of my life. But I think that to go from a few millions a year to past that, like let's say aiming for 9 figures, I think it's the hardest part because you already have everything you want, right? Now, I think the driver comes from being inspired to build. You generally got to be inspired by your potential of building something great. I don't think you're playing it out of, like, as an example, like, even though I don't pay myself a lot of money, if I want to travel, if I want to have a nice car, I'll still go get the car. Like, I'm not necessarily like in a frenzy state where I'm like, oh fuck, I can't spend $10 on coffee. You know, I'll buy coffee every day if that's what it takes, right? So it's like I'm still living in my own abundance, but I'm not making it so available to myself that I feel like I've made it. As an example, like I could be driving a 911 right now, but I don't do it because I feel like it will just put me in a state of like, okay, then what's next? What's the purpose of making $1 million a month, right? So it's like you don't want to give yourself everything that you can afford just because you can afford it, because you still need you still need something to look forward to. If you could just buy everything now, then you're going to be like, okay, cool, I've lived everything, so cool, whatever, right? But I just generally think that it's more out of like people who build, like, you know, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, I don't think they're doing it for money anymore. You just got to do it because you're inspired and you'd rather do it. But also a lot of people are like, oh, but what's the drive to keep doing it? I think that once you start winning, there is this feedback loop that is created. You get addicted to winning. And it's just you're preferred than any other fun.
A little bit toxic, but I completely agree.
Yeah, right. It's like you just want. It's all I know now. Like, what exactly am I supposed to do with my days? You just want me to like watch Netflix every day, go travel, go to Miami, just go out every night? No, like no, it's not sustainable. You can't have pleasure all the time. It's not sustainable. You're just gonna crash, right? Or you're just gonna lose. You're gonna lose yourself, right? And building a business is the most sustainable thing that you can do. Like, it's the best sport. You don't die. You don't you're not high, you're like just becoming better. You're helping people, right? Spend a lot of money on payroll every month, guys. Like that, I need that number to $1 million a month. You know, I know I want to make $1 million a month, but I want to spend $1 million a month actually. That's more exciting, right? Because your success breeds so much more success. Like you help so many more people, right? I think that, you know, eventually you need to quantify your success by how many people you're actually taking care of. You know what I mean? But
Serge,
yeah,
can I touch on this?
please.
I asked this question so many times. I think through sales, right? Closing these people. So I used to speak to a lot of people who are starting the coaching business, who are complete new people, and they used to ask me this, right? It's like, well, like I just want to make money, right? And so like if you've done sales, you're right, like that's not going to be enough of a driver for you to actually pay, right? And then also I used to start to speak to people who are making like 200K a month, 500K a month, and things like that. And so I used to have this in mind, like first of all, like why do these beginner people want to make money? And then also why the hard one for me was like these people who are already making a lot of money, right? Like millions. Why do they even want to like pay this? Like why did they want to go from 200K a month to 300K a month or 500K a month to 700K a month? Like why? Like you've got enough money, right? And so I realized like, and I started to ask this is like, and I think I learned this just through like a lot of different ways, but I used to say something like this as an analogy I used to give, and it kind of helps me. And it's something that Serge, I know, DMs like I need to do this to myself. But I realize if you get on a call with a sales guy, like this is the best thing to do. Is I would say something like this, right? So like, tell me about your goal, right? Let's just sort of future pace things out. And I think for me, it's important to attach like an emotional anchor to a goal, right? So I always give this analogy of where um it's important for us to define like there's two reasons. Like everyone knows there's things that you're running towards and things that you're running away from. And I think I used to get kind of confused of like, should you run towards things like desires or should you run away from things, which is like consequences and pain, right? And I think what happens is like, let's just put like Usain Bolt on like a 100-meter sprint, right? And he's running towards a gold medal, right? Like he's running towards a gold medal, right? Not because of the gold medal itself, but because of how he emotionally feels standing in that stadium and his family there, right? He's surrounded, right? Like he's making money, but he's now got fame, he's got gold, but how he feels, right? So I used to say, right, and people be like, I just want to make 100K a month. I want to make 10K a month. I want to make 6 figures. And be like, but like, why do you want to make that, right? Like Usain Bolt wants that gold medal, but like, what does that feel like? What would it feel like if you could make that 10K a month? And then when they would really buy is when they would say something like, I want to call my mom or my mother or my friend or my dad or whatever, right? And I want to say to him that you are now financially free and I'll take care of you. I'll retire you. And me being able to make that call to them is what's going to make me pay for this right now. And then what I would do is to add urgency to that, because I feel like a goal is enough, right? But then the urgency would come from the consequences, which would be like, hey, Serge, like what happens if you don't make that phone call? What happens if you can't make that 10K a month? So you can't make that phone call and you never feel like you make 6 figures and you can never, ever do that ever. Like, how would you feel? And for them, then it would just be like a drop, right? Where it's like, dude, like that can't happen ever.
Yeah.
And then I would say, so like, are you willing to settle for that, to stay where you are? And they'll say no. And then that's the way of like, and even when they're going from 100K a month to 1 million a month or whatever it is, it's like, no, I want to make 1 million a month, not because of the money. I don't care. I just want to say to my parents that, hey, like when you said to me when I was little, right, like I'll never beat something like this, I'm the guy now. Like I want to just say that to them. And that can be their emotional thing. But I think that's the desire. And I think it's the goal and it's the thing that you run away from, but it's adding consequences to the goal as well, which gives you the urgency.
Yeah, I think emotionalizing your goals is super important. Super important. You need to smile to yourself when you think about you achieving your goals. You need to be excited. You need to be excited. You need to be living in your goals. You need to be able to close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving everything. Everything. Like when I say everything, I mean everything. Right? So for me, in my mind, I have this perfect life where, I have a really cool house. I have a really cool house in another country. You know what I mean? I have cool cars. I have a cool wife. I have kids. But my whole family also is living that same lifestyle. Like, it's not about me, guys. Like, it's, I think if you're too selfishly in your dream life, it's all about you, then you don't understand what success is. Success is the journey with people. People. And until you can picture you having the time of your life with the people you love, then business is not your, there's no way you're going to want to send looms. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Looms are way too hard to send if you don't picture that some days you're going to be on a jet with your boys or friends traveling to Las Vegas just to have a night out. Like, ain't no way. If you don't picture being on a yacht every summer or maybe every winter with your people just drinking tequila and just having fun, why are you sacrificing your day today? Like, no, it's not worth the sacrifice. But if you're looking at like, hey guys, like, cool, like, you know, this time next year, I want to pull up at the dealership and I just want to buy 10 cars for everyone, right? And then after we buy those 10 cars, we're going to fly them out to Monaco to go drive them in Monaco, right? And then once we get there, we're going to just rent all the penthouses there. And then we're just going to have a blast for a week. You know what I mean? It's like, you gotta picture yourself and emotionalize that goal. Because I think emotions is if you're not emotionally invested in your goal. When I see people are like, oh, well, you know, they're indifferent when they talk about their goals. When I talk about my goals, like, my state changes, like my actual state, how I feel changes. Like, I generally become excited. Like I literally start sweating because I'm emotionally invested in this fucking outcome, right? You need to be able to change. I think one of the best guys around this is to talk about emotionalizing and, you know, maybe normalizing stuff is Taylor Welch. I think is really a great guy when it comes to this, right? And just sit down every morning, just emotionalize, picture where you want to be next year, right? But I love this, the way you structured it. So like you emotionalize, you figure out the emotions that they have around achieving the goal, but you also figure out emotions on how, if they never achieve that goal. Ooh, that's actually good. I might put it in the webinar. I might put up a little structure there, just talk about it.
Well, I think it's finding, like, they're gonna say a goal, right? Like 6 figures, and then it's asking why a few times, and then adding a tangible piece, which is like, I want to make 60K a month, and then adding an emotional anchor to why they want to make 60K a month, which could be to retire my parents, and then adding urgency consequences to not hitting that.
Yeah.
But most people say, like, what happens if you don't make 60K a month, which doesn't mean anything to anyone.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's good. All right, cool. All right, cool. So I've been checking out this stuff, right? Because right now I'm trying to rethink the way my play to scaling to potentially 8 figures, because I don't think this program is just, there's too much deliverables for us to scale to that with just one program. So I've just been rethinking on how do I structure the company so that it scales. And then the thing that I'm about to share with you guys is something that could help you guys, because how you structure your company and how to strategize on scaling it is going to be more important than what you do to actually scale it. I don't think that formally just being like, oh, I just need more appointments and I just need more money. It's like, no, that's not really thinking. Like, you're not structuring anything, right? So I've just been thinking about this play where eventually there's really 2 sides to scaling a company in this info space, right? I think you need to be thinking about 2 things. You need to be thinking about the scalability of content, so information. Everyone here will eventually need to start selling information. Whether you guys love courses or not, nobody cares. You need the scalability of an information product, right? That's one. But secondly, you need to own the infrastructure. Because just selling information, you're not going to get rich off of that. Because people, once you start selling something, people will start copying you, and then it's information, so everybody can access it. There's no competitive edge from it, right? So one thing that I want to share with you guys is how. So Taylor Welch is scaling something, right? His current new offer. So he sold traffic and funnels, so he got out, right? I think they just were, I think the business model was just broken. I think they had scaled it too fast and they had a bad reputation, right? That's also what happens when you try to make money too fast, right? So you have to balance scalability and you need to also sustain the thing, right? So on this side, there's infrastructure, right? And I'll show you guys an example of how he's doing it. And then I'll also share you guys how I plan on doing it, right? So there's this info/consulting or coaching, right? Most people will go hard on this one and others will go hard on this one. But I think you need to do both. And the reason why you need to do both is because if you don't have this aspect of things, then this company will never be as big. And the reason why I say this is because I know people who are in the same industry as me, right? Either people who do email marketing, email builds, appointment setter, but I swear to God, they can't scale past 150K a month to save their own life. Literally, like they would, like if they tried to do more than 150K per month, they would burn out, or they would just not have any more leads to sell to, right? Now, I know also people here who make a lot of money, 300, 400, 500 grand, $1 million a month, but that I can 100% tell you that next year, their business will crash. Why? Because these type of businesses, it's like, they're just meant to just extract as much value from the marketplace. And that's it. They have no long-term vision on their business. It's like, how rich can I get in a short time span, right? So this is how everyone should be. And then so the way that Taylor Welch is doing it is this is what he's doing, right? So on the infrastructure side, he's actually buying up agencies. Actually, never mind. Let me try to show you guys what he's doing. So here he's building products like, how to scale, scaling a consultancy offer, right? And how does he do it? It's pretty simple. He'll have, a few products. So he has like a newsletter model. He has subscription, group model, group coaching, right? And then he has another one, which is, let's just put them here. And then he has his high ticket program. And then he also has another offer where he will actually come in and partner with clients, maybe like 10 people. 10 people, and then he'll take equity, but he'll also take a percentage of sales, right? So this is his monetization model. And this is pretty good, I guess. It's pretty good. So he gets people in here. So actually the way that it's structured, I should position it like this. This is how he makes his money, right? So people come in here, it's $27 a month. And then here it's $297 or something like that. And then this one is probably like 15, 20 grand or 10 grand. I don't know how much he sells it for. And then here, he takes people from here to here, okay? And then he takes people from here to here. And then he takes people from here to here, okay? So what you guys are seeing here is that his old model with traffic and funnels was, hey, I have an info product to sell. Let me spend 100 grand a day, a week on ads. And then let me just get people into this high ticket program immediately. But what he has understood is that you need sustainability. Like, it doesn't matter getting rich in 1 year. Like, I don't care. Like, guys, if you guys told me like, hey, Serge, you'll make 100 million this year, but you'll never ever make any money any other time, in your lifetime, I'd be like, keep your 100 million. I don't care about your 100 million. Guys, if you want to get rich, you need to get rich for sure. It's not about, oh, how much money did I make this week? If I made 100 grand in 72 hours, but then the next week it's 10 grand, that's not a business. Might as well shut that thing down, right? You need predictability. So what he's realized is that he needs to be advertising to acquire customers first. Okay? He needs to monetize. He needs to build his customer list. It's not his client list. So the difference between a customer is someone who's just, it's like someone buying from a coffee shop, right? But a client is someone, it's like you guys are clients. You guys are not customers. But if someone buys a $69 product from me, that's a customer because I have the level of attention that I pay to him is almost nothing, right? So what he's realized is that all these three things, these first two things are meant to get him customers, right? And then these customers turn into clients. High ticket clients, right?
And then into partners.
From these other, and then partners eventually from these two products, right? Now, what do you think is easier to scale? Do you think it's easier to scale someone who buys a $20,000, $50,000 package? Or do you think it's easier to get 1,000 people every single week to get into these $27 products, $2.99 products? Of course, it's going to be this. And that's why if you guys watched my last video around high ticket and low ticket, it's both, guys. It's both. Because it's all about sustainability. Because if you don't have this thing, so let me try to show you guys this. If you guys never have this, so let's say we hide this part out. If I hide this is what most business owners in high ticket consulting is. They literally have only this. They have one offer. Even Hormozy, I hate it when he says this. It's like, oh, you should just try to focus on one thing. No, you shut up. You have 500 subscribers on YouTube. You don't have, you're telling people. So this is what happens. People, when they start wanting to be liked, they give feedback that people want to hear instead of telling people what they're doing, right? This is what happened. This is why a consulting company, if I try to scale client acquisition.io, just like trying to sell the $500,000 program, I mean, I could scale it. I mean, technically, this is what we're really doing. I don't think we've mastered yet this first aspect, but this is what happens when you try to scale it. You're spending money to make money, but eventually it will cost you so much money to make money that you'll not be profitable in this, right? But what if you could go here and all your focus is, I just need people to know about me, maybe transact with me. My goal is not to make a lot of money from this, but I just need to get thousands, millions of people to know me. There's no way you can get millions of people and serve them in a high ticket program. If you guys gave me 1,000 clients, I would say, hey, sorry, we can't, right? But give me 1,000 people a week to want to go through my webinar or my content on YouTube. Oh my God, I'll give them content for days. Right? So what ends up happening is that even though I don't necessarily have products to sell, I still have YouTube content, which is technically a product, which is free. So more people get it. So my content, I'm building a customer list. So what Taylor Welch is doing for more sustainability is he figured out that I will optimize for this first, right? And this will forever feed me with high ticket, right? So now there's a sustainability route. Now, this is one way of doing things, right? So this is the info space, consulting, whatever courses model, right? But what he has also realized is that this doesn't give you an edge over anyone. Anyone can come in and be like, hey, I help people to scale consulting offers. They can also create a newsletter. They can also create a subscription group model. They can also create a high ticket program. They can also be like, hey, I'll partner with you, right? Now, the moat comes from here. He realizes that, okay, what do I do to acquire clients for these things? He realized that he needs advertising, right? That's one. He also realized that he needs content, podcast, YouTube, repurposing, right? Redistribution. Repurposing. He realized that he needs this. He also realized that he needs what? He also needs copywriters, right? He needs copywriters. He needs, let's just skip, we can also add things like salespeople but for now, let's keep it like that, right? Or he also needs people to be good with organic, right? He also needs people who are good with organic groups, right? So now what he's done is that he's gone ahead and purchased equity in agencies that do these things, right? So what ends up happening is that everything that he needs to scale his own companies, he's going to own the infrastructure that delivers these services. What that will give him is that it will give him something that not many people can copy. Not many people can go and own an ads agency, a content agency, a copywriting agency, people who are really good with outbound appointment setting and maybe even sales agency, right? So now, while everyone is just trying to compete with him on this area here, well, he doesn't care because he'll just come in. Every single client who comes from these things, if they ever need advertising, who do you think they'll go to? Him. Who do you think these partners will go to when they want to scale through content? Him, right? Who do you think is going to write copy for all these clients? His agencies. Who do you think is going to help build these organic groups? Him, right? So what ends up happening is that he ends up owning the thing that makes him rich short term, but he also ends up building the infrastructure that guarantees success for his company, but also for his own clients, and he can scale them like crazy. So it's like, so the point that I wanted to get at with this explanation is that when you're building an agency, I want you guys to be thinking, I mean, some of you guys aren't building agencies, but if you're a consultant, a coach in this program, if you think that you're just going to sell information, you're going to get rich, please rethink your path. Because you probably have maybe 1, 2 years, maybe at most 3 years of really selling your program until it becomes irrelevant. And you go back to literally making $5,000 a month. And when I say literally, I mean literally, right? So how do you protect yourself against losing? You own infrastructures, right? You own the thing that creates the success for your clients, because the goal is not for you to just teach someone something. The goal is so that these people can keep buying from you forever. And the only way you keep someone buying from you is you generally need to deliver a service, not just information. Maybe if you're famous, then people will buy your proximity, but you need something that can keep serving people down the line, right? So if I was, I can show you guys with my model, right? So right now I have the coaching, this consulting program, right? We have the high ticket, $500,000 program. And then, so I generally have only figured out this, right? Up until now, it's literally this, right? But if you actually look closely into our program, I have like 3 different agencies within the main program. I have the VA operations, right? So for me, I have the VA operations. So that means that any client here who wants a VA is forever. Like, I mean, they can either go find their VAs, but if they want to do business with me, they can generally just pay us, right? So I own this. I have 6,000 VAs in a Facebook group ready to be placed, all right? And if you look at the next thing, which is cold email, right? Would I have simply just spent time creating course content on how to build cold email systems? Of course. But does that give me an edge? How many people have created content around cold email? On YouTube, it's literally millions of people probably, right? And it's free. Why would people buy from me? The same shit that is free online. Stupid, right? So what I do, I own the infrastructure, because one thing is for sure, people will always pay to not do shit. So what you need to do is figure out what your clients need, whatever you're teaching them in your program, own the delivery mechanism for that thing. Okay? Even if you're teaching people, right? Now, eventually next year, I'm going to be building something called the growth specialist.io, right? Because I realized that like I need growth specialists. It's been something that's been making me a lot of money. So eventually my clients will also need the thing. Up until now, I had not built the infrastructure for it because it's a lot of work, but next year I'm going to build it. So now when clients need anything, we also can fulfill on that, right? And then the next thing is like, eventually I could build like a short form content agency, which is where the 7fc.io came from, right? But we haven't fulfilled because it just didn't have the bandwidth for it, right? But the key lesson here is whatever makes you successful in your business, I want you to own it infrastructure wise, right? And for agencies, this works the same way. Let's say you start with an advertising agency here, right? And you're helping brands. Well, what I want you to figure out is how can you build eventually a consulting thing or information content online, products or free, that gets them into your funnel to start learning about you, right? And maybe you can consult them, right, on a group model, right? And then position your ads agency or your short form content agency into multiple, like segmented by deliverable, right? Have a team of editors, have a team of creative directors, have a team of people who post the stuff or whatever, right? If you have if you offer email marketing, if you offer paid advertising on TikTok and Facebook, if you offer CRO, well, have all these verticals one after another, right? So when these brands are ready to actually buy from you, you serve them based on what they want. So now you're literally like protecting yourself from ever losing. Because when you only have one thing to sell, guys, like, yeah, there's no money in selling one thing, to be honest. I've realized you need people buying from you every day, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys had any yeah,
I have a question. Where exactly, like, when did you came up with this whole thing? Like the whole graphic that you break down, it was because you were watching a podcast from Taylor Welch. What was that about?
No. It wasn't. But it's just that it's not from one thing, right? So I think I would say that I just realized that I needed to have a competitive edge. Like, how can I compete with Iman? It's impossible. I can't just compete on Iman from just launching a course, right? So I realized that, like, okay, cool, but I've had people, pay consistently 15 grand for this program. And I realized that, like, the reason why people are buying is because we own the thing that guarantees success in-house. It's not just my promise or my value that I'm delivering to the marketplace is insanely more valuable than what Iman is delivering. So anyone in their right mind, if we had like Iman's deliverable and then my deliverables, but in front, by the way, I'm getting Filippo, he just booked the call. Iman's best friend with our team, right? So it's like if you put our deliverables, of course people are gonna just see that this is more valuable and they're gonna buy this even if it's more expensive. So for you need to figure out, like, okay, how do you build something that, like, if they were to be compared with other people, they'll be like, yeah, it's a no-brainer, right? If you're just service-based business, then maybe adding content information, product or service or coaching, consulting is the thing that makes you more attractive. Because now people don't necessarily have to buy from you with that, a high retainer every month, right? But they can come and buy from you, even if it's $500 a month, even if it's $1,000 a month. Get people in, right? And then it's like a flywheel. This feeds this feeds this, and then this is just it's like a forever rich type of flywheel.
Yeah, I get your point, but I guess my question was like, when, like, because you mentioned this whole infrastructure, you were talking about the example from Taylor Welch,
yeah,
which failed because he didn't figure out the whole, like, the part of the low ticket. But like, what did you saw that? Like, what can I see the whole explanation of current, like?
So I think a few things resources you could look at is Ready, Fire, Aim, that book. I think it goes over how to go from 0 to 1 million, and then from 1 million to 10 million. But they're just talking about adding products, right? And then Taylor Welch, I mean, I don't know. I guess Taylor Welch, if you look at, he has a video around $1 billion, my $1 billion plan, get roadmap. He shared that, what I just shared, right?
Okay.
And then who else? I think Hormozi talks about, let me try to find the screenshot. So there is a screenshot around, so there's a few levels. When you're below like $1 million, all you really need to do is figure out how to sell, right? When you're at a million, and between 1 million and 10 million, you need the following, right? So this is a screenshot. So the entrepreneur journey. So 0 to 1 million, one product, one avatar, one channel, right? So like when I say like the thing that I just shared with you guys, I'm not saying like go build a lot of stuff right away, right? No. Don't be rushed. Don't be rushed. But anyone above 7 figures should definitely be thinking about what I just shared, right? So for me, I'm right here, right? My problem is not that I can't acquire a client. My problem is that I don't make enough money per client, right? So what ends up happening is that I need to find things that I need to sell you guys once you've actually bought the program, right? How can I deliver more? So I think this is increased lifetime gross profit per customer. I think that's what it means, right? And then he shares here, add higher leverage deliverables, right? So as an example, for people who are running service-based business, because technically that's what I'm running, eventually I need to add more, content to sell. I need people to be buying from me without me having to have my team, Reg, Sound, blah, 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 fulfill for it. Because that's going to make me make more money per client, right? So it's like, yeah, I've built the thing that people really want, which has made us more than $1 million. But then in order to actually scale to 10 million, I need to add multiple products, some that have more higher leverage deliverables, because then I need more money per client. And then I also need something that I can still sell that is really valuable, which is more service, a lot of, just a better experience for clients, right? So, and then once you're past 10 million, you need consistency of delivery, professionalization, business, and consistent delivery and tracking, solution, higher level experience. I've done this before, things like that, right? But I'm really here. But I think I can't recall a single place where I got what I just shared. Like, I don't think I read one place. I've just always.
I just wanted to know about the video from Taylor Welch, the Billy Doll thing. I guess that was it. But obviously, it's combined of all sources that you've been consuming and everything, obviously.
Yeah, it's not one thing. It's like, it's even my own observation, because I've always, a lot of people, there's this pool between, what's better? Is it better to build a coaching program, or is it just better to build an agency? It's both. Because agency provides you with repeat, coaching provides you with more volume. But like, so it's like coaching is like more of like a productized model. Agency is more like a personalized service. Personalized services offer more sustainability than recurring, than a product. So it's like, you need the volume, the scalability of a product, but you also need the sustainability of a service. So it's like, instead of just choosing one, you're going to get rich regardless. But how about you do both? And then you get really rich fast, but you also get rich for sure. If I can try to use that analogy. It's both. It's like life. I think people just think that there's one truth. No, there is not. Sometimes all truths are true. And you need to accept both. You can't just be choosing like, I just like agency. I just like that recurring model. I just like that high retainer. People pay me every month. I'm a lazy guy. I'm just, I get one client, I keep them for 6 months. Yeah, you're lazy, but like, how are you going to make 100K in a day? How are you going to sign? Are you going to sign 100K in retainers every day? No. So you need scalability of a consulting offer and the recurring model of agency. Next year, I'm going to build I'm going to probably build a program, but I'm going to limit it to like 25 people a year, which is going to be mostly focused on like how to pivot from agency to building a consulting offer. And then we're going to come in and build everything out for you, build a growth team, build your offer, deliverables, build everything, build your fulfillment, your back end. And then we go for a year straight, 12 months of work. There's no getting out until you're making at least $250,000 per month. I think $250,000 per month is where, at $250,000, you take home 150 grand, you're chilling. That's a month. Yeah, that's my goal. So I'll build this program, and then I could go over and over. I can show you guys if you want my game plan, but that's for another day. Or I can show you guys if you want. But anyway, Rahel, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question. I think it was kind of touching on what you've said the past like 30 minutes. Is like, how I have a question like positioning, right? So it's like, you want to provide as much value and then get a lot of results, which is usually people like getting the quickest results, right? So my question is, but then also you want to scale, which is usually it's like more people but less results, I would say, in a way.
Yeah. 100%.
How do you position, like, should you go after beginners or advanced, right? Like that's something I've been thinking for a while. Like I don't really know like what the framework to go with.
You need money at first, so go after people with money. So I would go after, like, if you know, because you're trying to start an offer, right? An offer, start pushing coaches and consultants. I would find people just like me, and I would try to solve one thing that I'm dealing with, right? Because if you have a really good offer and you can free myself up, free my time, I don't mind paying you what you're asking. But to make the kind of money that I would pay you, would have to do a lot of sales calls to try to get broke people to pay you. So it's like it will take longer. But once you've really, like, you're solid in you're helping people with more money, then building a brand that is also attracting a mass amount of people. Because this is okay, cool. This is assured money, but this is scalability. Because there's more broke people. Like, it's a lot better to make $100 from 1,000 people than to make 10 grand. It's a lot easier to make $100 from 100,000 people than it is to make 10 grand per people. Like, I could probably make more money from letting 2,000 subscribers into a course for like 1,000 than it is trying to sell them at this main program. Like, no matter how big I get, if I just keep selling this program, I'm not gonna touch millions like Iman is doing, because not enough people can pay what we sell right now. You know what I mean? So, but does that mean that I won't be selling something to them? Hell the fuck no. I'm gonna sell something. I'm gonna sell so many things to brokies that it's just gonna become an amazing play. So it's like, but because I still think that they're better off buying from me though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are
I
coaches
was just
out
asking
there.
because I was looking at, like, if you look at all the big guys, right, like Alex Becker, Sam Ovens, like all these people, they've a lot of times they went to the beginner market, right, and they've scaled it massively because obviously, like, and I think Alex Becker says like a lot of people go in between, so they're like beginners but they're also not making enough money, and that's like kind of the worst market because you can't scale it either, and they usually have no money.
That's not really, no, you have to understand what their model is. You're trying to sell a course. If you ask me the same question of selling a course, then I would say go after everyone. You know what I mean? Like, you're not selling a course, and you should also figure out where you're taking your advice from. Is Alex Becker someone who's selling a service? No. They're spending millions of dollars on ads to make millions back, right? And another thing that is so important, these guys leverage trends. It's not like, oh, they're helping you book appointments. No. Sam Ovens would never sell a course if there is not a new trend to be leveraged. Sam Ovens rode the trend of consulting. Alex Becker was selling products, I believe. Jeff Bezos, like Ty Lopez said, he rode the trend of e-com. Apple, Elon Musk rode the trend of electric vehicles. All these people are riding trends, right? Now, if you come to me and you're like, hey, Serge, I have this new thing, this new insight. I'm starting to see a lot of people pick up on it, and I think a lot of coaches are missing out on it. I'd be like, hey, shit, cool. Put out content on YouTube, get a bunch of setters, and start selling $1,000 product, right? But since you don't have that insight, I would suggest try to make more money per client. When Facebook started, they went to Harvard. That was like their first clients. They did not go to the college broke student from Iowa. You know what I mean? Where's the money? Let's go focus on the money first. Because check this out. You don't have a lot of time on earth. So if you optimize for brokies as soon as you start, then it's going to take you 100 hours to make a 1 grand. When you could have taken you 10 hours to make 10 grand. So why would you optimize for something that is harder to achieve and you get paid less when you're starting out? It just doesn't, it doesn't make sense. Starting out, high ticket. Start making money, allocate capital to growing your brand, to growing your efforts, to putting your name out there. Once you have enough people following you, then start monetizing this. But you start here always. Oh my God, if I would continue selling like $1,000 a month appointment setting services, I don't I don't even think I would be. I don't even know if I would still be existing. I would have probably been depressed and just gave up on life. But then I started making 8 grand per client, and then 10 grand, and then 15 grand. I was like, fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Right? But now that I figured out how to make 10, 15 grand, okay, cool. Now I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have all this responsibility from a client that's paying me 15 grand. So how about I find someone who can pay me $500 a month? Because now this is going to be protecting me from having, this is more like this recurring money is going to be like protecting. It's like, it's just going to be like a cushion. It's just going to be take care of all the expenses, right? And then the high ticket is just going to be the thing that's still pushing though hard. But yeah, that's my explanation. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cheers.
Yeah, but trends are important, guys. Like, please be on the lookout of like what's really working in your industry, right? If you're in ecom, you need to be listening to podcasts. You need to be figuring out like what's working for this guy. Oh shit, this is really cool. Oh, building communities is something great. Get on the trend hard. Because trends is like, I think the way that that Ty Lopez explained it yesterday is like, you know, we're risk averse humans, right? We, you know, the way that we've evolved is that, hey, if you make enough mistakes, you're going to die, right? So every single person that you're trying to sell to would rather protect themselves against losing. And it's a subconscious thing, meaning they're just subconsciously built to be afraid of investment, right? But a trend overrides this fear. A trend literally overrides the fear of losing. The risk aversion is like, if I, you know, I mean, guys, how many people have signed up because of short form content offer? A lot of people in this program have recently signed up for that offer, right? These are the same people who probably knew me before I mentioned that offer, right? Why? Because it was just something like, oh my God, this is new. I should probably get on it. And the truth is, it is actually a good opportunity, right? And the funny thing is, when you're actually going to the marketplace selling short form content, it's the same effect. You use that same trend to get clients, because a lot of people will be paying you because they're like, oh, wow, I can get famous from just posting a bunch of reels or from you repurposing my content. It's like, it's a win-win. It's a trend that I'm using to get more clients in, and their clients, I'm getting them to use that same trend to get more clients, to get rich fast. But does not mean that you're going to get rich for sure. No, it just means that you're going to start making a lot of money, more money than you're used to making. So it's like, how many trends can I leverage at this point? If you can become a trend writer better, you just catch them, you're going to be the best. You're going to make, for sure, you're going to make millions of dollars. That's something that I've understood. If you look at Iman, what did Iman ride? Iman rode the SMMA trend. He got in first, some of the first ones. If you look at, so Ty Lopez made 100 million. Iman made probably, he's going to make multiple 8 figures, right? And people under him, maybe Trey Cockram is probably made like a few millions, nothing crazy. If you look at Sam Ovens, he made almost 100 million in consulting.com. He was the first one to really ride it hard. If you look at Traffic and Funnels, they followed up with him and made 50 to 100 million too. But if you look at anyone else who came after them, they consistently made less and less and less and less money, right? So if you can understand and ride your own, figure out a trend and become the go-to person, you're going to be good. You're going to be all right. I feel like a trend is like a, how can I call it? It's like insurance. If you can become really good at catching trends, you just have essentially ensured that you'll never ever not make enough money. So yeah. So yeah, guys.
Winner takes it all.
100%. And brokies are just left fighting over the
What's left?
Yeah, the whatever, the 10% of whatever it's left of the marketplace. But yeah, guys, sustainability, and be thinking about a way to build the moat, right? Do not be competing with people. Like, don't try to compete like, hey, you're better at TikTok ads, or you're better at coaching people on how to scale businesses. That's not no. That's not enough. You need something that makes people choose you, want you, right? And that's either a brand or more personalized support or a trend. But the goal is to use both or through those three things. Because now you're like, oh my God, you literally become like the Amazon of this industry, right? Where people will just buy from you just because, right? So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I have a webinar this Saturday. If you have any people you want to help in life, please invite them. I would also suggest you guys join because I'm gonna be sharing some pretty cool insights. Because I'm trying to
What time it is?
It's 12 p.m. Eastern Saturday. So like the same time that this call started.
Great.
Yeah, I'm rethinking the model of like scaling businesses online. And I think next year we're gonna see a crazy trend on leveraging just scaling organically and building communities. And because I have yet to see someone who's still spending money on ads after 5 years of doing it. It's like everyone like they scale really high, they start making a lot of money, but then they realize, you know what? It's actually not that worth it. Actually, it's pretty cool insight. And I heard this from Sam Ovens. When Jeff Bezos was building Amazon, he realized that shipping was costing $10 million and marketing was also costing them $10 million, right? So he was like, what if we stopped marketing and took that $10 million and actually paid for our clients shipping? He stopped advertising to acquire clients and instead focused on delivering a better experience for the current clients. And the rest is history. So like advertising is not actually a good model. Like advertising to acquire clients, it's good. Like I'm going to start spending more money on ads because I need more people to know me. But I'm not actually going to acquire clients through ads and be like, hey, click the link below to buy. No. I just want awareness and then let the content sell people, right? But at the end of the day, guys, it's all back. You need to be in the back end refining your fulfillment. Your product, your service needs to be top tier. I don't care if you have to spend 100 grand a month on fulfillment team. I don't care what you guys need to do, but you need to invest in your fulfillment. You need the best talent. You need the best people. And then let the product sell itself. You don't need to do much, right? But yeah.
You're saying advertising is not worth it. I feel like advertising is kind of like chasing attention, and putting out content and increasing the quality of your fulfillment is attracting attention. And you want to be in the...
What do you mean? The attracting or attracting? What did you say?
Attracting, sorry.
Yeah. Ad is just so that people can learn about you. Just like you just want to show up in their life, right? But then you need organic ways to acquire that same attention. You can't keep paying for clients. It's not just the guys, we're in a recession. You know what I mean? There's not enough money for all of us. So we can't keep spending money to make money. Whoever can spend the least amount of money to acquire a client is inevitably going to become the best marketer online in the next year. I promise that next year, whoever can make money without acquiring clients or without giving money to Facebook or whatever, is going to be the person who earns the most. I don't care if this is a SaaS business. I don't care if this is an e-commerce brand. I don't care if this is a coaching business. Whoever makes the most without having to spend as much is the winner. You'll see a lot of guys online who are making like $1 million a month, but they're spending like 200 grand, 300 grand, 400 grand on ads. I'm like, bro, why don't you just settle down for a 250K a month? Like, just chill. Why are you expensing all that energy to just make the same profit that you were making, right? So that's why for me, I don't want to just scale. If I spend money on ads, it's because I want to have to sell something that most people can buy. Like, I don't see the point in me scaling my audience to sell this main program. It's not scalable, right? So the goal is, if you really want to become famous and make a lot of money, have a product that most people, B2C, consumers can buy, right? and then that's good. Then you can make a return, right? But if you don't have a product that gets you customers, then there's no point in trying to scale your audience and spend money acquiring attention, because you're just going to be losing money. But once you have a product that customers can buy, then cool. Then you can have your client thing. Then you're good. All right, guys. I have to live. Thank you guys so much for jumping on this call. Next, I think we're gonna probably take a week, and probably last week of December, we're gonna slow down on these calls. We're gonna slow down on work. Probably first week of January too. I think we just, we've worked hard this year, guys, and I hope you guys have worked hard too, because it's like, and we need a break. We need time with family. I'm gonna tell the team to slow down a little bit. We'll still be available, but I just need a break to think a little bit, guys. Like, I think always trying to keep grinding. It's like you end up being burned out even if you're winning, so take the first week and the last week of this year to just rethink, re-strategize. Probably I'm gonna be releasing my newsletter, so hopefully you guys will check that out. And I'm gonna start it when I'm actually in that time off, just so I can sit down and actually read and learn. Haven't been learning much. I've just been working, just slaving around. But I think time off is probably one of the greatest periods to just actually recover from all the damage. But thank you guys so much, and let's get ready for next year, guys, because next year is gonna be if you guys next year, you guys don't 10x what you guys did this year, please don't say you were in this program. Just say that you never signed up. To just say you don't know this program, right? But guys, next year I want to do some pretty cool stuff. I'm trying to restructure something, because I need everyone here to be known, right? I need every client here to come in and be able to have like an audience of like 10,000 people, right? And because I think that audience solves for everything. If enough people know you, it's impossible for you not to make money, right? And you look at that by everyone who you look up to who's making millions of dollars. Genuinely, they just are more known than you are. So get famous, get known, because other people have the money you want. So what are you gonna do, right? Take care, guys. Appreciate y'all. Have an amazing week. Let's go. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for watching my video. One thing that I want to ask you is please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with the people in your circle, people who can find this content helpful. And before you actually leave, I have a 5 days to 50K a month program with the right offers, the right mindset, decision-making, training, everything you need when it comes to scaling an agency, high-ticket coaching or consulting business past 50K per month, from the client acquisition systems to how to actually scale and sustain scale. If you want to access it, click the link below. Yeah, find it helpful.